What's up, everybody? Um, so it's 11 o'clock my time, so I barely made it, but I made it. And here's the video for today, as promised, reading from Power for Living. And it says read this first. So I'm not sure if this is an intro. One Sunday morning, not too long ago, three men crawled into the cockpit of a strange-looking spaceship which was strapped to a giant rocket at Cape Kennedy, Florida. As the entire free world watched in fascination, the countdown for spaceship Columbia began. Never before had a spaceship taken off from the Earth, orbited the globe, and returned. It took an awful lot of power to make it happen. The rocket itself was 184 feet tall. It weighed 4.5 million pounds. It carried 500,000 gallons of fuel. It generated 5 million pounds of thrust, enough power to push the spaceship to the altitude of 23 miles in 2 minutes. After the initial takeoff, Columbia climbed to the altitude of 189 miles and circled the globe at 17,000 miles per hour. Altogether, it made 113 orbits in 7 days. It was one of the greatest displays of power the world had ever seen. Journalists compared the spaceship to an eagle, but it wasn't an eagle. It was simply a big hunk of metal. And when it ran out of power, it fell out of the sky, its belly glowing white hot from re-entry into the atmosphere, and finally glided to a stop on the salt flats in the desert of California. Spaceship Columbia was a magnificent scientific feat, but its power to leave Earth, indeed its momentum to stay aloft, was created by man. Eagles, because of their ability to find the thermals, those columns of warm air which rise from the Earth, are able to stay aloft indefinitely, often without even moving their great wings. But Columbia was not an eagle, it was a spaceship. As a result, it was destined to fall to Earth. The only way it could become an eagle was to be born an eagle or be reborn as one. That's the problem with most of us, with all of us. We have a certain amount of natural power, but for some reason we don't have enough to make it all the way to the end. A few seem to get a good start, but even they fall to earth in the long run. And the rest of us never do even get off the launching pad. We just sit there and sputter. Sometimes we don't even have enough power to do that. And the first little breeze that comes along topples us into the dust where we lay forgotten, as though we never existed in the first place. Recently, a group of highly successful people have risen to the top of their profession, were asked about their lives. These people are not hunks of metal destined to come tumbling down sooner or later. They are like true eagles soaring the heights. When they were asked about the power that keeps them aloft, they all gave the same answer: God. That's right, they said their power for living came from a personal relationship with God. Unlike the spaceship Columbia, which was put aloft by man's efforts, they all said they had tried man's way and found it empty. But when they turned to God and allowed Him to take control of their lives, they began to soar. God, you say? Well, He might be able to help folks who already have made it. But what about me? Wait a minute. God is not just for the fame. God is just not for the famous or the rich, for those nice folks who dress up and go to church or synagogue. God is for everyone. He loves those who are helpless. He loves alcoholics, the drug addicts, those who have lost power and are tumbling end over end in space, headed for a sure crack up, unless they burn out first on re-entry. He loves the fellow who's out of work, the homemaker caught in the web of adultery, and the lonely teenager, the frustrated businessman. He loves you, and if you will let him, he will not only direct your path, but will give you power to live. That's what this book is all about: power for living. A long time ago, the prophet Isaiah discovered this. What he wrote has been tested by millions of people from all walks of life across the years. Now it's your time to test it too and let God give you power, not only to live, but to live abundantly. Here's what Isaiah said. But those who wait on the Lord will find new strength. They will fly high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. That was written by Jamie Buckingham in Melbourne, Florida. All right, so that's the entry for the intro for Power for a Living. And the next time, I guess I need an idea to stream something. I'll read the next. Hi, Fox River. Thanks for watching. All right, that's it for me, guys. I am calling it a night and going to sleep. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.